Hi and welcome to Whisky Shared. You're watching episode 48 of my Mystery Monthly Minis. I'm Toby and you're watching Whisky Shared. Welcome to episode 48 of my Mystery Monthly Minis. If you've seen this before and you know it works, then you can just skip straight forward to the tasting. Otherwise, the way this works is I have over 100 samples in my sample collection and my wife has picked one at random. She's poured it into this blue Glencairn glass and I'll nose it, I'll taste it, I'll tell you if I like it and I'll have a stab at what I think it is. Should we find out what I'm drinking? On to the whiskey. If you'd like to play along and find out what's in my glass when I do, then just keep watching. Otherwise, take a look in the description now for a sneak peek. Let's start with the nose. Okay, so this seems a little fruity, possibly sherried. Again, some red fruits, red berries. Doesn't seem overly hot ABV wise, maybe 46%. But it isn't giving away much at this stage. Yeah, it certainly isn't giving away much. Unusual. A little bit charred oak maybe. But yeah, this is fairly deceptive. Let's hope the palate reveals more. Okay, so this is quite a bit different on the palate than I was picking up on the nose. It's very, very malty. Lots of malted cereal. Really is a strong sort of character. I'd say ABV wise, I'm still thinking it's sort of 46, maybe 50 at a push, but it's very malty. I'd say there's quite a bit of savoury going on in this, and it's not overly sweet, but there is a bit of vanilla in the background. Let's have another sip. Yeah, it's starting to remind me of something like a Highland Park. There's a little bit of smoke in there. It comes across more like charred oak, but there's a bit of sort of heather honey sweetness in there as well, which reminds me of Highland Park. It's not overly hot on the palate, but there is a little bit of pepper that lingers. There's also that sort of smoky. It's like a very sort of heavily charred oak that sort of sits on the palate as the whiskey evaporates and sort of leaves that finish. Yeah, so it's got quite a long finish. Let's have one final sip. There's a bit of me that thinks this is also possibly mainland Scotland. It's reminding me a little bit of the sort of less than mainstream sort of Speyside distilleries that I've got quite a few sort of SMWS bottles. The sort of, the sort of or Thrusks and people like that, the ones that you don't get very often, and but that sort of smoky charred oak note in the background is making me think it possibly isn't mainland Scotland, but I definitely do think it is Scotland. It's it's difficult because I don't think it's enough of a Highland Park, but it has similarities. Yeah, it's not unpleasant. I really like the multi-character on this. It's really nice, and the fact that there is a bit of sort of smoke in the background. Obviously, this may have had some sherry finishing maybe, but I don't think the red berries I was picking up from the nose is possibly from sherry. So I think that was a bit of a misnomer. So yeah, let's go Island whiskey. Let's go 10 years plus and 46% ABV. Should we find out what's in my glass? Right, so it's Springbank Campbeltown Loch. It's 46% ABV, and it was sent to me by Jez. So thanks, Jez. Yeah, I think I've had this one a few years, so I don't know what batch this is from. Obviously, if you're not familiar, it is a Campbeltown blended malt whiskey. It's quite affordable. I've even got a bottle over my shoulder. But yeah, I think this tastes a little bit different to the one I've got, and I would say that this doesn't immediately ring like a Campbeltown, ring a bell as a Campbeltown for me. But yeah, I can see that potentially some of the notes I was picking up, do remind me of Campbeltowns, but this didn't immediately jump out as that for me. Obviously, Springbank make great whiskey, and obviously this is also made up of other Campbeltown whiskies. So yeah, it really is good stuff. And yeah, I definitely recommend buying a bottle of Campbeltown Loch if you haven't already tried it. Yeah, I'm sure this one must be at least a couple of years old, and I think the one over my shoulder is 2023. But yeah, definitely worth checking out and grabbing yourself a bottle. If you've tried Springbank Campbeltown Loch, then share your thoughts in the comments. And if not, hopefully you found that interesting, and I'll see you again soon. Sauncher.
I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give it a like or a comment, and please consider subscribing for more videos like this.